Hello, hello, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Hold up this lighting. Yeah. Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of We Need Each Other podcast. Happy March. This month we are celebrating Women's History Month. We have three phenomenal women joining us today, and we are so excited. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. One moment. Let me send you the request. Good evening. Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome to We Need Each Other podcast. Josh, I just sent you the request. There we go.
Drum,
Hey.
drum roll, drum roll.
Hold up. I can't really hear you. Can you hear me?
Mic check, mic check, mic
Okay.
check.
There we go. We're good.
Am I loud and clear?
Perfect.
I hear you.
How you doing?
I'm great. You look great.
Listen, I almost came on here looking real crazy in these Instagram streets.
Okay.
I didn't have no power, and I almost came on here looking real crazy, y'all. But we made it with
Yeah,
power.
you did it. You look
Good
awesome.
evening. How you feeling?
I'm dope. I'm dope. Yo, it feels good to be back. It feels like it's been a while since we chopped it up. Let's get to it.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for tonight's episode. You want to tell them what we're going to cover? I told them a little bit, but
absolutely. I say this all the time, but I'm just going to say this is going to be the greatest show. Just in terms of just the momentum, who we have on. Mm-hmm. So basically, in honor of Women's History Month, we want to just celebrate some women who are doing some incredible things, who are making history like today, like in real time. And we just have three women that we want to sit down and kind of just get their story and just want to vibe out as a way of just passing on inspiration and normalizing success. Because one of the ladies we're going to bring in that I know personally, she just normalized success. When I saw her do her thing, I was like, wow. You know, sometimes we when we have friends who are really doing really, really big things, it shows that it's possible for us to, man or woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, Women's History Month is just, for me, it signifies freedom and unity. It's like literally celebrating every single woman, no matter your background, your ethnicity, your status, your age, your color. It's just all of us coming together and just celebrating us and our freedom. You know?
Talk about it.
We're pretty dope.
So check it. I want to start out because in this show I include you with that. You know, so in terms of talking about women who are really doing things, not just in the business world, because that's what we're really going to highlight today, or women who are doing things in the business world, but in professional world, in the family realm, and all that. So shout out to everyone, but specifically, I want to give a shout out to you because even in your area, I see in terms of the diligence, in terms of the leadership skills, in terms of just really being an example. So before we get on to the other ones, if it's cool if we go in on you real quick.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Of course. Putting me on the spot.
Dope. Yeah, so it's I want to say shout out to my aunt. I see Brenda, how are you?
Hello.
We celebrating
Brenda.
her as well. Yeah. She another beautiful example of a beautiful woman who are doing some really great things all across the board. So real quick, without further ado, I have a couple icebreaker questions. Okay. It's just either this or this. The first thing that comes to mind. All right.
All right.
First, put your mind in terms of where you want to be financially, whatever. Money's not an issue. We're talking big here. All right.
Facts.
Do you like to be drive or chauffeured?
Oh, passenger princess.
Passenger princess.
Chauffeur.
Okay. Would you rather dress up or dress down?
Dress up.
Okay. In terms of, are you comfortable managing small groups or large groups?
Either or, but at this stage, I'd rather a small group.
Okay. Like a management style. Are you for the micromanage in terms of you being the one that's hands-on, or do you just like delegating tasks and kind of letting the leaders kind of do their thing? Delegating tasks or micromanage?
I would say I'm a little bit of both.
Okay.
I'm right in the middle.
Got you. In front of the camera or behind the scenes? Do you like to be highlighted or you like to be the one putting things together?
In front of the camera.
Say that. Shine. Okay, question. Would you rather the wealthiest home in a low-income community or the most inexpensive home in an affluent community?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Why can't I live like around my people and we all have good homes?
Ideally, but we're just talking about, it's also just a thing of where your mind is at. So it's either have the best house in the hood or have the smallest inexpensive home in a huge...
I'll stay in the hood. I'll stay in the hood.
You want to be the princess of the hood?
I'll stay in the hood, you know? Listen, the hood will teach you a lot of things. I'll stay in the hood.
Leadership. I got you. Okay, so real quick. So imagine you had a $10 million company, right? $10 million company. And you can get a majority of the profits for doing the majority of the work. So let's say you do 75% of the work, you get 7.5 million, right? But you have to put in a lot of work, 10-hour plus days. Or would you rather share the profits with other brilliant minds and only take 20% of it? So you're getting $2 million, but you only have to be there for, let's say, 2 or 3 hours. So in terms of doing 10 plus hours, but you're retaining most of the profits, or 2 hours and you maintain a minimal amount of profits, maybe 20%, 25% of the company is yours.
Oh, that's a really good, damn, you came up with some good ones. But you know what, to be honest, right in this stage of my life, I want to be in control of my time. So if I can, I'm still going to take I'm still going to pocket 2 million and I'll still have full control of my time. So I'll do that.
Nice.
Pocket the 2 million and I will do whatever I want with my time in my life.
Nice.
And I'll help other people get money. So
beautiful. See, I think with that one, it's kind of tricky because some people say, hey, I want to grind and I just want to kind of raise the money real quick, or someone who values their time.
Right. I definitely value time with my family, with friends, traveling, doing what I want. But of course, money, like, we're not going to pretend and say money is not important. It's not everything, but it is, it plays a huge factor in our lives, so.
I got one more, of course.
Right.
If money was not an issue in terms of every job paid the same, what would you do?
A fashion designer.
Okay.
Fashion designer. Traveling fashion designer.
Okay. Cool.
What about you? I'm gonna flip it on you because I want to know career-wise.
Oh my gosh. I kind of wanted to shine a light on women, just kind of see your style.
No, but I'm just curious to know, what would be your career choice?
Oh, my career choice. It would be public speaking. And mentoring, just kind of going to these communities and talking directly to people, but also talking on a big scale and getting me in front of thousands of people. So yeah, just talk my stuff and inspire.
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty dope. I like that. Okay, all right, that was a good little warm up. I like that.
Cool.
I like that statement.
So for each of our guests, I kind of want to just run that real quick by them, just see if they want to be chauffeured or they want to be driven.
Okay.
And so each one.
All right, sounds good.
Yep. So
our first one is Karina. Let me see if she's on. I'm not seeing her on just yet, but let's see.
Okay. That's cool. If you don't see it, a couple more minutes. All right. I got another question for you. This is not them, but just in general. What do you think make better bosses, men or women?
Oh, you want to go there? Women, of course.
Okay. Women make better bosses. Why? Of course. Of course.
Why? I just feel like, not nothing against you guys, but we're so much more organized. We delegate. We're able to just hold it down. Like I always say this: the men can be the head of the household, but we're the neck, and we make better bosses. Prime example: the agency that I work on at right now mainly is just women running it. Yes, we have men in leadership positions, but women even the men who are in leadership positions, they still come and consult things with us, women, to make the final decision.
Okay. I will say you guys have a gentleness about it. So it's like I can be told off with a woman and not feel like she's attacking me. Like a man, if you did some shit wrong, he's going to say it. So you guys have a way of just almost like a smoothness in terms you can tell me about myself. And I'll take it. I'll be like, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I ain't even mad. With the man, I feel like I need to probably combat it. But with the woman boss, for me, it's easy to take instruction because I'm just like, okay, cool. Usually she has a way of saying it that's different.
And I noticed too in my years in the business industry, men do not like confrontation. And as a boss, you have to be able to face confrontation, whether it's good or bad. But you have to be able to sit down with your staff member and you're never going to belittle anyone or talk down on anyone. But you have to confront the issue, and and you have to address the elephant in the room. And men are more like, I'll just let it slide. They'll let a lot of things slide. Well, I shouldn't say all of them, but from my experience, I've seen men let things slide just because they don't want to confront that person, especially if their staff member is a woman.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. I was going to say it was going to be the flip. I thought men kind of went toward the confrontation. The reason why I like taking it from women, because it feels like I'm being confronted, but I'm like, seems like we can find more of a common ground with the women. With the men, sometimes it's either like, what you trying to say?
Right. Y'all want to fight. Y'all want to fight each other.
More combative. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to your sister. I see Empress Zenquarian just joined. Those are example of two beautiful women. Let me make sure my camera is all clean. There we go. But yeah, two beautiful women who just entered the chat. I want to say shout out to y'all in terms of bigging up women on Women's HERstory Month.
Happy Women's History Month, ladies, and Women's Day. Every day is our day, but especially this month, we are really celebrating us and our accomplishments. And you know, a lot of times, especially in the corporate world, all the odds are against us, and we just jump through all of them, jump through all the hurdles like nothing. So shout out to us, and shout out to all the women who are joining, and even the men too. The men who support us, I should say, not the men who act foolish and don't like women empowerment.
Yo, shout out to my brother. What's up, Mark? How you feeling, brother? And that was kind of, it's going to give birth to our next conversation. And we was kind of just talking about the men who are there as allies and supportive and lift you guys up versus the men who will be intimidated by celebrating your greatness or the fact that you may be the boss or that you may make more money than us. So it is, examining that is important too, in terms of stating the allies. And as an ally, we just say, hey, because you're doing great, that doesn't infringe on me, you know. And if I feel some kind of way, I need to check myself in the mirror. Like, why can't I big up my girlfriend for just doing awesome? Or even just say, hey, you guys have a month. Shout out to y'all.
Right. But it all goes
There's nothing wrong with that.
It all goes back to what we touched on here several times, the ego. You know, it takes a very confident man to accept a confident woman. Confident women only make weak men weak, you know, and intimidated. So it takes a really strong, confident man to be able to, you know, because sometimes a confident woman is hard to handle. But if you're a confident man and you know what you bring to the table and you know that at the end of the day, that doesn't take away from your manhood. Like, just because your woman is a boss or making more money than you or she's super confident, you're still a man and we still want you to lead at the end of the day.
Dope. I agree. And is Karina in the building yet? Because I definitely want to get started
and
bring people in.
Yes, me too. Let's see. I see her online, but bear with us, guys. This is Karina's first time on Instagram Live.
So Karina, yeah, when if she just joins into the room and she's watching us live, she should be able to see us, and then we send you an invite and you accept. So just to figure it out on your end. And I do want to say, in terms of what we are doing as a podcast, the concept of a podcast, having the perspective of the man and the woman. So when we're highlighting women, you have a man giving his perspective. I think it's so dope. I was watching a previous podcast right before I ate on this, and it was just divisive. And I see there's the woman's point of view, then there's the man's point of view. And then the fact that we're coming together, and the nature of our podcast is we're going to examine both, I think is huge. And I want to say shout out to us, shout out to you, shout out to Zen. Happy Women's HERstory Month, Queens. And shout out to all the kings who support organically with positive intentions to uplift with loving energy.
Wow, that's dope. Thank you. That is dope. HERstory. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Let's see. I think she's not able to join. See, I just sent her an invite.
Okay. Cool. Just checking if our other guests are on as well, but as we vibing. Like,
I mean, yeah, Empress, if you want to join us for a few minutes, feel free, Empress.
I would love to have her on. I actually sent her a message a couple days ago saying I wanted to chop it up with her. So Zen, if you got a couple minutes for us while we wait for our other guests to join
Come on in.
We have some other great women in business, ladies to celebrate. And I'm really excited about bringing them on. But it's just about celebrating women in general. So Zen, real quick, if you could just see this, I want to say a quick hello to you.
Try joining.
Or if you see Belka's on.
Yeah, we'll do.
We can bring on.
So what does it mean? What does Women's History Month, when you hear that, what does that mean to you from the male perspective?
Initially, it was taking a look at the past. It was always women who have done things and women who who are responsible for building the pillars for what women stand on today. But I realized even this year specifically, I'm like, there's women who are doing stuff like right now. To kind of just spoil it real quick, one of the ladies who I brought to the conversation was a woman who should be celebrated. She goes, Felicia Forbes, CEO of Freckles Juices. And I was introduced to her a few years ago, And just to see a young lady own her own business was like, first it was just normalizing greatness and also saying it's possible. So this, and then she went and built another one, and she has the location out in Brooklyn. So this for me, it's like history, like right now, like she's making strides and really carving her path. So I previously thought about women's history as something that was in the past, the pillars on what we stand on. But my more recent understanding of it is the strides you guys are making now, and that's why.
Yeah. I remember you saying, oh, you know, in real time.
Real time.
So I kind of like that term made you realize, you know, Women's History Month and women empowerment is not only about and of course we thank them for the women who are no longer with us, but paved the way for us, because without them, we wouldn't be here right now. Without them, we wouldn't have the freedom that we have and the privilege that we have for many things. But it's also to the women around you in present time, creating history, making changes in the community, you know, senators and schools, principals, doctors, like we really killing this shit. And also for the little girls who are growing up and looking up to us too, as well. That's why I think it's so beautiful. You know, I always feel like kids are sponges. They're watching everything. They're listening to everything. They just want to grasp and learn. So when they have other women as role models, they always remember. As an adult now, as a woman, I remember women who inspired me when I was a little girl.
Right.
So that's important for, you know, for us to lead by examples as grown women, especially with this whole like social media world. We really need to show these little girls and even teenagers and young women in their 20s, it's not all about social media. Like we are women in real life, you know, like your real on Instagram needs to match your real life. So
Do the work.
Yeah.
To go just a little deep as a way for our guests to come in, this is my thought process. The way us men can really support you guys is supporting you guys when we're not attracted to you guys. I think it's easy for men to support a woman that they're attracted to, or they think it's going to be their woman, and we would have no problem lifting you guys who are really attracted to up. But we need to learn how to support women who we have no interest in romantically. Just literally, hey, how can I be of service? It's kind of like with the whole family thing, the way literally you'll do something for your family just to kind of see them do better, or if you have a connect, or if you're the plug for something. But a lot of times I realize if we're not, as men, romantically attracted to you, or we don't see you as a potential mate, sometimes we don't know how to support you guys when it's just platonic. And I think as men, we need to really do that well. And that's how we can lift the community. So it's not because I'm trying to get something from you, or because I think you're really beautiful. I'm here like, if you was not physically attracted, we would still have We Need Each Other podcast.
That's so dope that you brought that up, because I was just, one of my friends and I were having this conversation the other day. He was like, he's a DJ. That is so hard for other men or other DJs to support me. But if you were a DJ, or if you were selling something on Instagram, you post it, you get support from both men and women. And he's saying the men might not even care what you're selling or what you're doing, but they're just supporting you because they're attracted to you, or they find your body attractive, whatever it is. So it's so crazy that you mentioned that. You can even admit that, because most men won't.
Yes, we need to show women who are, I'll just say women. I was going to say something very comical, but women who are we not romantically attracted or physically attracted to. But that's a big thing in our community. I swear we'll be very nice to women based off of aesthetically being attracted to them. And women, you are some beautiful specimens. But if we can do it on a systemly, just genuine support, I think that's how we really can start healing the community. That's peace, Josh. I'm gonna tap in with you and check for that message. Yeah, check the message on Facebook. So when we had this whole talk about just highlighting women and women's voices just being heard, I just sent a message and tapped into a couple of people, and Zen, you was definitely one. So check the message on Facebook. We're also going to do this next week as well. Hey, how do your mom? Shout out,
hi, mama.
Lift up
shout
women
out to the greatest woman in my life, my mama, my creator.
Amen. Shout out to her. We'll have time for on-camera action in the near future. I'm just here to support y'all in the chat. Cool. Yeah, dope. So we're gonna double up next week too. So we're here to all month just show love to women. And then on the 21st, next Tuesday, we're going to have another group of women who are really doing some incredible things in the community. We're just going to highlight them. So when we came up with this show, we just had names and we just had people who we wanted to kind of really highlight. And this is our chance to kind of do it. So yes, shout out to you, Zen. We'll definitely chop it up.
Absolutely.
And to your mom as well. Shout out to my mom because when she sees the replay, I know I got to show her love. Yes, as I celebrate women, how can I not celebrate mine?
Absolutely. Shout out to the mamas. Do you feel like there's any career field from your your opinion? Is there any career that comes to mind that you feel that women shouldn't be in?
Wow. See, all right. See, now to be very honest, now when it comes to this question, right? There are so many things, if we look around, that just men have, well, the HERstory we just built, from the trains, the cement, and the lights, and like a lot of stuff, men, we just have been doing this and we're really good at it. I don't think any woman should not do any job. I don't think any woman should not do any job. If a man is into lifting cements, we like to lift things up and put them down. I have a hard time seeing a woman struggling physically. So anything that and this is just maybe just me, when I see a woman trying, well, if she wants to be a superwoman, who am I to tell her not to do it? So my answer is manual labor. When I see a woman doing manual labor, for me, that triggers something. So when I see a woman lifting too many bags, I'm running to try to assist her. If I see a woman having a hard time pushing the door, I'm going to push right behind her. So I do think when I see a woman in other aspects and speaking and even lifting, doing stuff, if that's your job, honey, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. But personally, when I see a woman I'm just going to go help you with your bags. But I also respect your choice to lift up cement blocks.
I respect your choice to be a construction worker.
I respect it. I
ask that because I feel like society, there's so many roles that they're like, women shouldn't be doing this, women shouldn't be doing that. But if you look around, we have broke so many barriers and so many stigmas. We are in so many roles. Anything that you think about, like my best friend, she works for Job Corps. And just, I think yesterday she shared on her Facebook page a post from Job Corps, and they had a woman dressed up, construction worker. And I'm like, you see, but automatically people think, oh, society, we need to be behind a desk or feeding our kid or running the household. But I even though times have changed and it's nothing like the past, there's still a stigma. And there's still a lot of people with negative opinions of us in certain roles. So that's why I asked that question. I wanted to know your perspective on that.
I got you. Your mom said, Josh, have you ever got backlash for that? I say, hey, women have the freedom to like literally do whatever they want. And I'm not going to stop you how you get your 9 to 5. Just personally, in terms of triggering, I don't know if it's in terms of history or it's just my innate ability. When I see a woman go, ugh, I'm ready to say, how can I help you? And maybe I was just geared to kind of do that. I have no problem seeing women speaking to thousands or taking charge in any kind of way. I love that. I think that's dope. It kind of inspires us to kind of see what is she doing right. And women have a style, whether of speaking, of talking. It's like, I don't know, it's dope. We can learn from that. But me personally, yeah, when I see a woman with a jackhammer in her hand, I'm just like, yo.
But you surprised, like your little like that makes a huge difference, because when we're getting off at the post office or going to the mall or something and a man comes and opens the door, you're like, oh, okay, whether, and it has nothing to do with being sexually attracted to someone or just wanting to get their number or nothing. It's just like, oh, wow, like he's a gentleman. He opened the door for me.
Amen.
That's dope.
Amen. And your mom said, try to help women and they get upset and tell you back off.
Oh, that's what she meant. Oh, have you had that before?
No, that even opens up. So check it. I don't want to get lost with time because I know once we start talking. So on your end, as I talk my mouth off, just check for Belky.
Yes.
And then
I'm watching her. She hasn't joined.
Okay, cool. So so now this opens up the conversation for a woman doing things, and we're talking outside of the professional realm. Let's make it personal for a second. So when a woman's doing things and a man's there to assist, or a man's there to kind of add to it, allowing them to kind of help is beautiful. You don't need to take charge and all that, and that's the purpose of the balance and partnership. Hey, if something looks heavy, at least let me get the other end, And if a woman goes, back off, Josh. I got it. Like inside, I kind of wanted first. My instinct is to say, "Oh, good, you got it."
Oh,
But
my bad.
right. But instinctually, I'm there to help. So I think that's the balance of a woman taking charge, the balance of a woman being a boss when she when she has a chance to learn from someone, or she says, "Hey, there's someone who can do something more for me in this, or someone needs to lead this."
Yeah.
That's a man or woman, man or woman. So it's kind of the same thing. We want to learn how to submit to this. That's crazy. We always talk about this.
Yeah.
Learning how to submit when someone's just doing something better, man or woman, and vice versa. So if I'm stronger than you and you're lifting up something that's 50 pounds, please allow me to take it. Please, please. Right. It helps my soul. Please.
Oh, I see. Oh, Belky is on.
Belky is on.
Yay.
Oh,
we are getting ready.
I see her.
Welcome.
She just joined.
Belky is such an amazing woman. Let me give a quick little backstory. So we met her through Beachbody, and she became one of my sister's best friends. And Belky is just phenomenal all around. She is a mom of 5, a wife, an entrepreneur. She works, like, the way this woman handles all of her hats, I'm like, wow, I'm always in awe. So Belky, we're gonna welcome you. Let me send you the request. Let's see. Okay, invite sent. You should be able to get that now. Let's see. Invite. Oh, she joined!
Drum roll!
Hey, Belky.
Hi, guys.
Joining us. How are you feeling?
Thanks for having
Jasmine
me.
says she's amazing. She is.
Oh, don't make me cry so early, okay?
How are you feeling? Welcome to We Need Each Other podcast.
Thanks. Hey, just try to make it real quick because, like, I was cooking and I was like, oh my God, I gotta get on.
First, we're happy to have you on. We're here to celebrate you. You're doing some amazing things in the community, and it's important that we shine a light on you. All right. So real quick, we have a couple quick questions. It's either this or this. First thing that comes to mind, and then we'll chop it up for a few minutes and we'll keep going. So real quick, right? To drive or to be chauffeured? Would you rather dress up or dress down? She's gonna join back really quick. All right.
Oh, it froze. Let's see.
Yeah. So we probably have to just get it back in there real quick.
Let's see. Let me invite her real quick. Okay, I just sent it.
All right, cool. She's coming back. She said,
"This snowstorm." There you go. Okay,
am I back on?
You're back.
We're back.
This snowstorm is a hater, but we're gonna proceed.
All right. So real quick. These questions, just talk about your management style and just you as a woman. Real quick, let's take back. You said drive would be chauffeured, and you said?
Oh, if I would like to drive or get chauffeured around?
Yes.
Definitely get chauffeured around.
All right.
But does it happen? No, I have to drive.
If you could wear whatever you want to your business, dress up or dress down, what do you feel most comfortable in?
Dress down all the way.
Dress down. Okay, are you comfortable in terms of managing smaller groups or larger groups?
Imagining like what I like to be around, large groups. In
terms of you as a boss, in terms of giving direction, large groups or small groups?
Oh, large groups. I'm good at large groups.
Okay, and so now against your style, micromanage or to delegate tasks in terms of you being the one giving all the instructions, or you just tell the people how to give the instructions so they can do their thing?
I ran a home care agency and I don't like micromanaging. I like to delegate tasks, and I believe loyalty, you kind of give them that loyalty from the beginning and that trust, and they're really, it works. You know, they're very good, dedicated workers.
Leadership. In front of the camera or behind the scenes?
Maybe in front of the cameras here and there.
Right on, huh? Okay, would you rather the wealthiest home in a low-income community or the most inexpensive home in an affluent community?
That one was tricky for me, sis.
Ooh, so wait. So you said, say that again.
So it's basically the most expensive home in the hood or the poorest home in a very affluent neighborhood.
I would say, oh, that's tough. I'm going to be honest. Like, I got out, to the suburb life for my kids, and I just feel like, it's all about that just different environment. I definitely don't. I grew up in Jamaica, Queens, and then moved to Ozone Park because my dad didn't want us in a bad neighborhood. And I just feel like that's very critical. So definitely in a better neighborhood.
I got it.
Are you?
And then also think about it. Just your property value can go up.
Yes,
If you're in a low income community, then your property value is
gonna go
you're probably at the
down.
peak. Right.
So true.
Last one. If all jobs paid the same, what would you do?
If all jobs paid the same, then I would do what I love to do.
And tell us about that. That's a perfect segue. That's a perfect way to open up. Tell us about what you do.
So I worked in social services over 15 years, briefly, fast. Last thing I did was run a senior center up until COVID, and then I ran a home care agency. Did that, and up until the end of last year, and I just realized, you know what, I'm a workaholic. I definitely do a lot. I just can't stay still. I'm that type of mom. I'm like my kids' number one fan. I'm always at their games. I'm always at work. I'm always doing something. But I just feel that all that energy, I needed to give it to my own business. So that's where kind of things fell in place, in the grace of God, like blindly, didn't know. And I think that's kind of what just led me to running my business at the end of the year. And that's what I'm doing now, just helping others. I love to serve. I love to help people. That's why I've always been in social services in different populations. And I think that's just my natural calling. That's, I think, the gift that God has given me. And it helps me stay healthy myself. So I'm a health and wellness coach, partnered up with a company body.
Ooh, amazing.
Thank you. Keeps me sane.
how you inspire other women in your team. Like, what are you for them?
Just that hope that I struggled as a child with just my own health, and I'm always being that person to give to others, but never giving to myself. And I had to learn the hard way. Like, you had to get that reality check the hard way to kind of learn, like, listen, you got to give you time. You got to give you love too, because if you don't, you're not going to be there for the people you love, So when I had to learn that the hard way through just like health battles, and realize that, I'm dispensable. I'm dispensable to any company, to any agency, and I'm value. I am a person of value I'm an asset to any corporation, and I know that. And to realize the hard way that you can be dispensable, I had to learn, my family will always come first. And I've always delegated that to even like staff that I ran. Was like, listen, if you got to take a day off, that's your kid. I can always find a replacement, but that's your kid. You can never bring those memories back. And they love that about like how I would be that leader for them, and always like, listen, and having that opportunity and being that leader and saying like, hey, wow, what a great boss. Like, I learned that from other leaders that in my career industry, that I've had micromanagement, and then I had people who just gave me that trust, and that's where I worked even harder to prove that trust. So it was just that, where it was just like, what, I have to I have to live for me, because in my 20s I had like a minor stroke scare. I had a TIA, and in my 20s, like leading into the hospital, it was just like, my husband was just like, always like, babe, you always say the kids first. You gotta do you, because then you won't be there for your kids. And I was just like, okay, light bulb, yes, get it together, Bucky.
Wow.
I love it.
Oh, wow.
I have one real quick. Not just professionally, just in general. One woman who inspired you, and why?
One woman, oh, that's tough, because I have so many. I have my mom. My mom is seeing her work so hard to give her daughters everything she can possibly ever have. If she was the type that if she had $5 bills, a $5 bill, she'll give it to her daughter, because she thought her daughter always needed it, like more. And she was a very strong woman, and sometimes it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? Because sometimes you gotta be like, oh, it's that woman empowerment.
Yeah.
and I had to like kind of like, as I grow, I think is like we can continue to learn. But as I grow, it's just like, yes, women empowerment, but we have to learn that we need our men too.
Yeah.
We need our men too. I can't take that away from my husband, because he's my rock. He's like, my partner. Like, I can't do it without it. Like, our family dynamic is just, you need a partner. You can't just do it yourself, all the time. And I admire my mom, but I've seen my mom burn herself out so much, and
Mm.
I'm like, wow, my mom deserves the world, you know.
Wow.
I love it. Say that. I love how you said we need our men. We need to be to show that we're allies as well, and kind of
Yes,
celebrate you without including us as well. I think that's important. Just to say, hey, we're here to celebrate you. End of sentence. And then when our time comes, our time comes.
definitely, definitely. And it took me a long. I'm gonna be honest, Josh. Like it took me a long time to really, see that. Because yes, sometimes we do have that pride, and we like, yeah, we could do it ourselves, and we lose that. We do need our men. Like I'm grateful and blessed for my husband, and that's why I'm like, yes, yes, got to give you guys credit. You guys do it a lot.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the
No
burnout.
problem. Definitely.
And talking about, like, you mentioned your mom. How did that trickle down for you in motherhood? Because Josh, she's a mommy of 5 beautiful kids. Jasmine says she has the cutest twins in the world. Oh, twins are.
Oh.
Say that. Talk about it.
It's not easy, guys. I have 2 teenagers, a girl, like she's the oldest. I have a 16-year-old girl, 14-year-old boy, a preteen, 12-year-old preteen girl, and toddlers, right? 19-month toddlers, about to be 20-month boy, girl. It's never easy. If I tell you it was easy, I would be lying. I'm very transparent. We struggle. We struggle with the teenage phase. We struggle with the preteen phase. We struggle with toddler phase. It's never easy. And the way I say, you have to have that partnership in your partner, because when you're like broken to a point, your partner got you, and vice versa. And with God, like God, oh my God, God, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for where I am today, because I wouldn't be here where I am without the grace of God.
Amen.
And take it day by day. Take it day by day, because there's times where I would lose it. Like I would definitely lose it, but I'm just like, oh God, give me patience, give me strength.
Yeah.
And just to be able to be a better version of me, every day. I'm not perfect, and I don't claim to be perfect, but I know that my only competition is myself. And if I could be a better mom, a better wife, a better version of myself, it's just being better than I was yesterday.
Amen.
Thank you,
You
guys.
said at the same time. Amen.
Oh, and there's a question that Belky, I wanted to ask. What are some go-to practices you've incorporated in your life to replenish your own energy when in need? Ooh, that's a great question.
That's where I partnered up with this industry. Like it's literally being able to tap into my health. Like if you're not, and it's not just about physical or nutritional, it's mental. If you can be all healthy physically and nutritionally, but if you're not healthy mentally, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it eventually. And that's where I continue to do personal development. I read anything that pertains to that point or that season of my life. I tend to pick up a PD Audible that my sis Jazz put me on. Like, oh my God, I remember I used to knock her for those. I'm like, Audible? Who listens to Audible? Like, I need a book, but I never have time for a book, so I listen to Audibles on the go wherever I'm going. If I go to the supermarket, I pop in my AirPod, and listening to the personal development has helped me just continue to grow and investing in yourself. Sometimes I used to be in that mentality like, oh my God, I don't have money for this. Listen, if I can have money to buy coffee every day, I have money to invest in my health. And that's where I had to like, boom, like I have money, stop fronting, Belky. So I invest in my health and my just growing, like I love Tony Robbins. I can't stop talking about Tony Robbins. I always wanted to attend one of his seminars since I was a teenager, and I would see him and and I'm like, $3,000 to go. And this is why I say God is good, because in January he had like a seminar for free virtual. Wow. And I had a breakthrough, like just always invest in yourself and your health and in your mind and just your personal development, and you'll continue to get through it.
Wow.
And your faith.
Yeah.
Faith is number one. Oh my.
Yes, faith number one.
Love this. We need this. We need this. Just in terms of not only the level up conversation, to hear a woman say that is beautiful, but to understand it's about a human experience that you're talking about. So yes, we're talking about women just leveling up, but when you speak some of them things, they hit on just a human level. I love how you were saying, in order to, I would say, properly recognize when a woman's leveling up, when you can recognize it, like I said, give a shout out to your husband. That is beautiful. It's just,
Thank you.
I don't know. It's everything that we've been talking about. So happy to
Thank
have you on
you.
to share your story.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you. I'm happy to be on. I know, like, damn, I made Josh's day. Like, damn, yes, I need my women to give us props.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's a mature woman. She's giving praise to her man. Yes.
Nah, I mean, and then
shout out to my husband.
yes, yes, the motherhood from the professional side. So it's good to see women not only box into maybe one style of living, or when we give praise to women, not just women who are really great in business, but women who are amazing mothers, amazing wives, and all across the spectrum. That's great to hear those stories.
Thanks.
And that's the show too, how you're able to like tap into your femininity in your relationship because he gives you that support. It's so important because when we have a man supporting us and, you know, speaking life into us and, you know, walking in faith with us, that just makes you feel so much secure, and you get to tap into your soft side, and you are able to accomplish a lot more when you have that support versus always having to be a strong, independent woman and doing everything on your own. So that's
it's true. It's true. And you can't take that ego away from the men, like, right? That's what God created men for,
right?
To be that support, to be that partner for that female. So if you take that and strip that from the guy, like, what are you leaving him with?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we can't do that. We can't do that to our men. They play that role, and they play it well.
Absolutely. So I have a question. Do you have any tips so you're a mom and an entrepreneur, so you're running a household and a business. What are some tips for moms who are starting off? I see so many women struggling, and, you know, and some of them just have one child, and they struggle with just tapping into their purpose or finding time for themselves and their business.
I definitely would say just the support system is crucial. You know, like, you know, working in social services, sometimes we give people advice, right? We give always advice. You need that support. You need that support system. And then when we go on ourselves, we like forget about that. We want to do superwoman and do it all. And I did that. I was guilty of that. Like, I never leaned on my family. Like, you know, I'm Hispanic, Latina, and, you know, I see a lot of my family members and they lean on the family support system. And I was very prideful. And I say, like, yes, I am blessed. I got that from my mom's side. But sometimes I didn't go and say, hey, can you babysit my kids? It was like me working, daycare, doing like my career, my education. And it was just so much like, damn, like, I wish I would have taken that time to say, yes, I need help. But it's all about support, and that's the support I have now. And that support is what helps me be successful. And like, I'm telling you, I'm crazy because I even volunteer. Now I'm a volunteer firefighter and EMT just for volunteer in my town. And I'm just like people say, like, I'm always seeing you on the go. And it's just like, honestly, guys, like, you have to find something for you. Like, find something for you that keeps you going, and that's going to keep you going. But you have to be able to be humble and ask for help when needed. Have that support system because it makes a difference, you know. That's what I would recommend. Support all the way.
Wow, congratulations. So you're that's what Jasmine says. She's doing something else that I am very proud of her too. Oh, your hubby's in the building. He says she's an amazing woman, wife, and mother. I'm a lucky one. Oh, that is so sweet. Shout out to your husband.
Oh my God. He knows I'm teary. Like, you guys are gonna make me cry. Jazz, between my husband and Jazz, because Jazz is funny because Jazz, like how Kayla said, like, you know, I met Jazz through our community, our healthcare accountability group, and we lived in different states. We didn't even know each other. We met probably twice since 2015 in person, and we're like sisters. Like, you know, when we call each other, it's like if we knew, like, we were together the day before, and even though we're like busy lives, like, so I love her.
That's beautiful. We're grateful to have you to share your story.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure meeting you, Josh.
Absolutely, you as well. And you are an example of this podcast. We say we need each other podcast. We're talking about not only the difference in perspectives of men and women, but needing these stories as community, men highlighting women highlighting men, and us sharing stories that we often don't get a chance to tell. So you are embodying of that, and you are now part of We Need Each Other podcast family. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was an honor. Thank you so much.
We'll be doing pop-up shows in the near future. We Need Each Other podcast will be in New York live, and you are definitely coming.
Great. I would definitely love to see you guys.
Okay, internet. I'm back. Sorry, my internet's coming. But thank you.
Yeah, and shout out to her husband too.
Thank you. Can I just press the X, guys? I'm still working on this technology. Do I press the X?
Yeah, I think at the top of the corner, I think it's like an X or something like that.
Got it. Thanks. Bye.
Later. Hey, I just got a text from Felicia Forbes. If she's in the building, if you can see Felly Forbes, you can send her invite. I asked her to send.
I sure
invite.
will.
If you see Felly Forbes, you ready for her? Real quick, let me just run a little backstory. First, I was talking about her early in the live, and we were just talking about it.
I'm sorry. Freckles Juice, right? Am I saying it right?
If you see Freckles Juice or Felly Forbes in the either one is her.
Let me invite her in. Okay, I just sent the invite. Probably
for both. I'm not.
You can hear me because I see her. Woo! Well, hi everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me because my internet's coming in and out. All right.
Yeah, we hear you, Kayla.
Okay.
So I didn't get a chance to even give you a really dope intro. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Bring it back.
So this is someone who I personally looked up to in the business realm. I was a group fitness trainer, and I remember at the end of one of our classes, we jogged all the way maybe like 20 blocks to her juice spot, and that was the first time I think I went to her juice spot. It's a juice spot. She has vegan options, she has sea moss, she has macaroon, she has ginger shots, and it's first for me it was an example of women doing her thing on a great level, but also an example of a shop that I personally love. I go there often. I haven't been to the one in Brooklyn, but big shout out to Miss Felicia Forbes, CEO of Freckles Music.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Boop, 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 boop. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your amazing business. Thank you. Amazing.
It's a pleasure to have you. I'm glad we have you here to share your story.
Thank you.
All right.
All
right, so
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So real quick, I'm just going to shoot off a couple questions. All right. This is like an icebreaker. It's either this or this. First thing that comes to mind. Very simple. Got you. Okay. To drive or to be chauffeured?
Chauffeur.
Would you rather dress up or dress down?
Oh, that's tough.
First,
dress up.
Come on. First thing. Dress up. Okay. Comfortable with managing small groups or larger groups?
Large groups.
Okay. In front of the camera or behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes.
To micromanage or to delegate tasks?
Delegate.
Okay. Cool. Would you rather the wealthiest home in a low-income community or the most inexpensive home in a largely affluent community?
Say that again.
So it's basically maybe I have to. Right, so,
that was through all of us all.
You know what throws it off? When I say most inexpensive, so it's basically having the
cheapest
house,
home in the
cheapest home in the most affluent neighborhood, or the most inexpensive home.
Cheapest home in the most affluent community.
Okay, she said yes. My property value gonna go up. That's smart.
Yeah, you get the benefits of the tax dollars. So
some people want to be king of the hood. So some people want to showboat and say I have a mansion in the hood. Some people want that.
Yeah, that's to each his own. It depends, like, if it's like convenient for you. For like, I'm about convenience too. I don't really care to live in it. I don't know the hood. If it's convenient to my job and I don't have to wake up an hour early, I'll live right close, right in the hood.
Last question.
It really depends.
Last question.
I don't like to commute.
Question: if all jobs paid the same, what would you be doing?
What I'm doing now? Perfect.
So, yo, again, another perfect segue. So, just real quick, tell us your story in terms of how you got started, and yeah. So, where did Freckle Juice come from?
Okay.
Yeah, tell us who you are and everything.
All right, so I'm Felicia Forbes. I'm the founder of Freckles Juice, which is a wellness brand. And basically, how I started, it's like a really long story. So I'm gonna definitely just put it in a small, I was in college, graduated. I went to school for social work, and I started working at the Veterans Hospital. So I was working there, and I just didn't feel fulfilled. It was cool, but I just knew there was something more in me. So I was literally on a journey in the search to find my purpose. And I kept praying about it, fasting about it, and like it was just like every door that I try to knock on, try to get like new jobs, try to move out of state. I remember going to Georgia because my sister lived there, trying to like get into a different career path, maybe change of environment. Like I just couldn't figure out what it was. So, I kept working, doing my job. And as I was working one day, I did see this like space on Gun Hill Road by the Montefiore Hospital. And I said, that would be really cute for a juice bar. Like a juice bar should go there. But I just said that in passing. Like it wasn't even, I didn't even realize it was a seed that was in my spirit. I really didn't notice that at all. Kept going about my day, still searching, applying for so many jobs. It was not funny. I was applying, and I'm a person who always got jobs. And for some reason, I could not get a job for anything. Even the job, my sister is a sheriff in Georgia who had the connection. My cousin moved there, got a job, bought a house right away. I did not get through. It was like doors closing. And I'm like, wow. Me? Like, I'm not stupid. Like, this is crazy. So I had to like really pray about it and like ask God, like, what is this? What's going on? Anyway, went to the doctor to get my full physical. And the doctor said that I have high cholesterol. And I was like, oh, wow. Because I've been at the VA hospital. We were eating a lot of junk. Like they had Nathan's. So I was eating French fries every single day, having fried chicken every single day. And so when I went to the doctor, said my cholesterol was high. And I was like, oh, wow. Anyway, a couple months before that, I had a housewarming. And I did request a blender, but I never used it, even from the housewarming. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to start using my blender. So I started blending up my juices, making my smoothies every day. And my coworkers were like, oh girl, please, you're not gonna be consistent. You're not gonna do that every day. Wow. But I did, because it was spiritual. And I literally stopped even sitting in the cafeteria. Like I just couldn't. The environment, I just couldn't. They had like a meditation room upstairs. So I never forget, I went into the bookstore of the VA hospital and I picked up a book, and it was called How to Be Successful by like steps on how to be successful. I forget the name, the guy. It's gonna come to me because I actually end up reading all his books. And I went, and it was a little square book. Actually, and I have that book. Like it's a little square book, and I went and for like 7 days, I started off going, just reading that book. And it just had so many things to deal with purpose. Like I thought it was going to give me like a plan or something, but it was really just telling you to seek God and everything else will, come. So I started going there, and I would read my Bible, and I would just pray. And it turned into 7 days, turned into a month. And now my coworkers are like, oh, wow, you lost weight. Went back to the doctor, no cholesterol. Now they're like, hey, I'll pay you to bring me smoothies. So I'm like, okay, cool. So now I'm making them smoothies. And I'm like, wait, I'm going to open a juice bar. I could do this, And I told my cousin, and I told my friend, and they're like, yeah, of course you could do it. Like, yeah, there's nothing like that in the area. So yeah, do it. So went to his house because he's like the only entrepreneur I know, like only person I ever knew that never had a job who always just like hustled. His name is Andrew, like Andrizzy. So he sells sneakers. So I went to his house to like let him know, like, look, I'm gonna open a juice bar and that's it. Like I'm just gonna that same spot on Gun Hill, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna just start. That's how I thought in my head. And then I went into his fridge to get some juice and I saw that he had all these little bottles of like juice. And I'm like, what is this? And he was like, it's a juice cleanse. And I said, a juice cleanse? I've never heard of that. Never heard of that. He's like, oh yeah, me and my sister did it for the new year. It was a sale. I said, what was the sale? He was like, $150. I said, that's a sale, $150 for juice? So I was like, I have to make this. Like, I got to figure out how to make this. And it was so crazy because my supervisor was leaving the VA that during this season, and she lived in the Palisades. She was getting a job closer to home, and she ended up working in a kitchen store, like a supply store. And then I told her my idea. She's like, I want to invest in you. Like, we get 70% off. You could use my discount. You need a juicer. I had a blender. I didn't even know there was a difference between juicing and blending.
Wow.
At the time, I had no idea. Like, I actually used to work in a juice bar in a gym in college at Bally's Total Fitness, but that was all protein shakes. Mm-hmm. You just put a banana, you put the powder, and that's a smoothie. You know what I mean? I didn't really understand like beets and like the benefits. I didn't know anything about celery. I didn't know any of that. The most I knew about was carrot juice, but you know, in Caribbean culture, like our carrot juice, you put sweetening milk and you put Guinness and you have Guinness and you have, you know, that's what I know for carrot juice. I've never had like a juice. You know, I've had protein shakes or like, you know, fruit smoothies. So when I find out, so when I found out about this juicing and he told me he lost like 7 pounds in 3 days, I'm like, what? And she got me to juice it that same weekend. I researched, I did my research. I'm like, this is crazy. This is saving people's lives. Like, what? And then I was like in Target and I remember seeing like a bunch of like mason jars. And I was like, oh shoot, I could put the juices in that. It just like randomly happened. I brought it home. Wow. My neighbor upstairs, she was like, oh yeah, bring your juice upstairs. I'll help you. I want some juice for the week anyway. She knew about juicing because her dad juiced. And he was like a Rasta, so you know, she was like, oh yeah, come upstairs, my neighbor. So we made the juice. I made my own ingredients. I didn't look at anybody's like website or anything. I kind of just was like, okay, like let's do the greens. I want it to taste this way and things like that. I gave it to him and it just looked so beautiful. It looked like a rainbow. It was green, orange, red. Wow. And he drank it. He was like, this is so good, especially this green juice. I've never had a green. He's been juicing. He's been doing these juice cleanses. He's like, I've never had a green juice that tastes this good. Like, how did you figure that out? I'm like, it was the Holy Spirit. I don't know, because I really never made juice before, and that's how we have like one of our most popular drinks is the Drizzy, because I named it after him because he would just like order that all the time. So he ended up putting on his. At this time, I wasn't even on social media because I was so distressed about not knowing my purpose. I kind of like came off of social media, but I had like a little page, and it was called Freckles Juice. Just to like still be nosy, but not post, you know what I mean? Like that. And he posted it on Instagram and it literally kind of went viral. And he was like, everyone was like, what is this? Who is this? And he was like, girl, you need to get on Instagram. And I was like, okay, so send them to my, but I didn't even think it was like that. And ever since then, like 2 months later, I had to quit my job. I had to go from at that time I had 2 jobs. I had a full-time and a part-time. So I quit my full-time. I kept my part-time. And I was just literally like the milk, you know, you ever heard of the milkman? I was literally the juice girl. Because I was delivering juices all up and down Boston Road. Snowstorms. My car was getting stuck in the snow. I was delivering juices to people's houses. They wanted their cleanses, and I was never saying no. 1 a.m. I was at the Hunts Point Market with the big truckers, picking the cucumbers and juicing. My neck used to hurt, my back used to hurt. Finally, I asked for help. And my cousin came over and she was like, you was doing this by yourself. This is a lot of orders. And I was like, it is? I had my nieces and nephews come over and help me on the weekends. And it was just like, I didn't even realize random people was coming to my house for juice. And that's when I was like, no, I need a store. Because now at this point, everybody knew I lived on Tilden. They were like, yeah, I know where you live. Like, I'm like, so that's basically the story. And then my cousins came in, they helped me, then we found the location on Dyer Avenue, and that's the, I guess, the flag store. And then 2 years later I opened up a location in White Plains in the City Center Mall. We have a kiosk. And then last year I opened up my store in Brooklyn. So basically it's just like, we're just being a staple of health in the community, having a healthier option, because even on Dyer Avenue, we're next door to the Chinese restaurant and the pizza restaurant. And then there's Freckle Juice. And then there's, the Jamaican restaurant. You really can't get anything healthy. And people come out their way to come to Freckles. Most of our customers, they drive and they double park and they come in. So it's such a need for the community. It's not a thing like people would tell me, oh, please, this is just a phase. Like, juice cleansing is gonna come out of business soon. Like, it's just a thing, like a quick weight loss thing. And what I've learned, and then I used to think that too, is it a quick weight loss? Because some people would lose weight and they would gain it back so fast that I started to think maybe this isn't as healthy as I thought. But it's so much benefits of fasting, even from ancient days, BC. You know what I mean? Fasting is so important. It's literally giving your digestive system a break, giving your brain a break from thinking about food, what I'm gonna eat, and really tuning into your, self, and like really figuring out what can I do for my health, what can I do for myself, you know what I mean? So that's the story.
Wow.
That when you truly follow the path that God has for you, the rest is history. Definitely. So I was like working today in my Dyer location with one of my staff. She's been with me for like 5 years, and we were working, and Rebecca. So we were working, and she said, I can't even see myself doing anything else but this. And I said, imagine if I didn't create this. Like, where would she be or whatever? And where would I be? Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I can't see me doing nothing else either. Like, it's such a vibe. Like, Freckles Juice is truly a vibe. Our customers are really family. We know them. We know their kids. We know their grandkids. We know the nieces, the uncles, the aunts. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been 7 years, 8 years. Wow. Well, 7 years, going on 8 years. So it's been a blessing, and it's been hard work. And we all work so hard, and she works so hard. So for Sayeva to even say to me today, like, what else would we be doing? Like, wow. It was snowing. It doesn't matter if it's 10 degrees. I closed one day when they said it was like some crazy weather and it was going to be 10 degrees. The emails that we got, the way people came the next day and said, how dare you close on a Saturday morning? I don't care if it's 5 degrees. We coming in. We want our juices. We want our shots. We want our smoothies. And that's when I knew. I said, okay, we're not closing anymore unless it's a state of an emergency and the government say we can't open. But if it's raining, hot, cold, whatever, we're opening. Except for on a Sunday.
And it's Sunday.
Yeah,
I was about to say that. I was about to say on Sunday.
We open on a Sunday. That's reserved.
Yeah. First, I think that was incredibly dope. First, to hear the backstory, because people see the storefronts and they see all the success, and they don't understand about the back-breaking work that you had to put in, literally back-breaking.
And even that, like, I kind of made it kind of seem very easy because I'm just like saving time, but it was not easy. It was not easy. I've got several no's. It was not easy. I used to have to do pop-up shops. I did pop-up shops on White Plains Road at my friends' businesses, hair salons, just having a cooler of juice, like going around, building the brand. I had a pool party. Like, it was not like that easy how I said it. You know what I mean? It's been a journey, a hell of a journey, trust me, because I've been through a lot, even dealing with contractors, opening the store, licensing, losing money, thousands of dollars wasted several times, having people come in and actually mimic my brand, mimic my menu, open up juice spots with the same ingredients, the same names, or just changing one thing. You know what I mean? So I've been through so much, but still standing. All glory to God. You know what I mean? So it's so much more to go. Having to close down a location before too, like, so it's not all, and that was thousands wasted too. The location wasn't doing well. Had to shut it down. You know, pull out, try different things, try products that didn't do well. Waste, you know, not wasted, but lessons learned.
Yo,
you are.
That's what this is for. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kayla.
You are literally the epitome of Women's History Month. You create. Thank you. And you to create history in real time. And I really hope that, like, just listening to you speak, I really hope that you take a moment to digest everything and you truly are proud of yourself. Yes, I'm working on it. The health industry, the hospital world is not easy. So to leave that, and it's not easy, but it's also a sense of security. I also work in the health field, and that is job security for life. So to take that leap of faith and open up your own business and just have God in the center of your business, and and before you, your right side, your left side, behind you, all around, and just really trust him and trust yourself and your passion and your purpose. That is so inspiring. Wow. Thank you. That is dope.
Yeah,
I do try to take a moment. Sometimes, like, when you're working and you're just like working, like, I don't necessarily realize like how far I've come. It's because it's so much more to do. It's so much more to do in the community. It's so much more to do in the family, in the generation, in my bloodline, that I haven't even scratched the surface of what God's going to use me to do, and I know it. So I think that's why it doesn't seem like nothing. I'm so humbled. It's like, all right, but I'm ready to do more. I know there's so much more, and to do. So, but I'm just still thankful. I'm just thankful that I was the person that could be used, because it could have been anyone. And many people have tried. So some people see me doing it, and they've literally been like, oh yeah, I could do it too. And and they might have done it. I don't know like where their story went, but I know we're still standing very firm at Zaya Avenue. So, I thank God for that.
Real quick, before we let you go, right? Because this could easily go on for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
It's dope. Just real quick, just one question I always had. When I walk into your shop, it is a vibe. The historical figures that you have on your wall, whose idea was that? Because when you walk into a shop on Zaya Avenue, you just see this montage of historical figures, women and men, that are plastered on that. So to have that historical component to your juice spot, whose idea was that?
It was my friend's brother. He lives in Paris. He came and he did an art pop-up shop where people were able to buy his art, and he blessed me with that. And it took him like 13 hours to do that wall. And yeah, it was his idea. But even before I opened my juice bar in 2014, I went to his like, he was selling art somewhere in the city, and I went and I bought an art piece, and I said, God, it's like 2013, and I bought it, and I saved it for 2 years, because I said, I'm not putting it in my house, because I'm gonna put it in my store, and I want his art to be there. And as soon as the day that store was open, that was the first piece of art that I got, and then he ended up blessing me with so much more art. Then he came years later, and then he did that for me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Beautiful, yo. Wow. This conversation could go on for hours, yo.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a pleasure.
Girl, we're gonna have you for a part 2, and you just get a customer. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me, and I love this idea. Like, it's really good to hear the stories, because even myself, I listen to documentaries all the time.
and I love podcasts. I listen to podcasts. I love documentaries. So this is really good, like, to just inspire people, because sometimes you think you can't do something. You see someone else doing it and you realize there is something. I don't have to do exactly what they're doing, but there is, everyone has a gift. Everyone has a calling. So, you know, that's it.
So everyone.
So inspiring. Wow.
So everyone, Freckles Juice. I think she has Freckle Juice with 2 E's on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Freckles Juice with 2 E's on Instagram, or just put.
Someone said, "How can the community and worldwide support?"
Beyond person. Zane always have the deep.
I mean, you could just following us on social media, sharing our videos, sharing our sharing. But we do have other stuff on the website that you could buy other than like product, like shirts and merch and stuff like that. But just easily sharing it in your story, like, that goes a long way. Because someone told me today, oh, I didn't even know about you guys. I saw you on Snapchat today. Oh. And we don't even have a Snapchat. So that means someone shared it on Snapchat. So it makes a big difference. Wherever platforms you use, if it's Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, Twitter, just share it. So
dope.
I wish you much success, and may Freckle Juice become a franchise in every single state in the country.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, much love. And everyone, frecklejuice.com. Freckle Juice, check out the one uptown in the Bronx, and the other one in Brooklyn. And where's the other one, the kiosk?
In White Plains City Center Mall.
Frecklejuice.com. We appreciate you, Felicia. You're awesome.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye.
Cool. I see I freak Unlimited waiting in the wings. We have one more. Do we want to keep her waiting?
Yes, we can have her on. We can have her on for
one more. Sorry, don't mean to keep you waiting. This has been a great show, just highlighting and uplifting women who need their stories echoed.
Wow,
So real quick, yeah, let's get her in, give her a great intro, and let's talk to her for a few.
Let's see.
Yo, shout out to all of not only the women but the people who pulled up to the chat. But specifically, shout out to the woman out there inspiring and empowering and doing what they need to do.
Tonight. Okay, Karina, if you're on, I just sent you the invite, and it should be in the bottom. You just hit accept. Let's see. Again.
I definitely saw her in the comments as we were talking. I definitely.
Invite. Okay, sent it. Wow.
Okay, it's cool. Yeah.
So inspiring. Oh my God. Us women, we are really truly unstoppable. Like, we really are. We can accomplish anything and everything we set our mind to. It's so powerful. And you see how she couldn't unlock any of those other doors because God was telling her, no, I don't want you there. And you notice how they both started off with speaking about God. I'm telling you, I'm listening.
When I see
I just sent it to her. Let's see.
So real quick, when I see a Felicia and I see her operating her store, you see a woman who's in a boss position but don't know the backstory. Don't know. I didn't know about her just hustling her juice, kind of get her juice shop and finding other ways to kind of do it. But you just see the product. You see someone that's kind of has a success.
Yeah.
And to hear the backstory, hear the groundwork is beautiful. And then we just need to support these women who are not only just in a position of power, but people who are doing service. Because I think that's what it is. She's doing service.
Or something as simple as sharing a flyer, sharing a post, liking it, sending it to family and friends to your group chat. It's something, it's free. Why not? Whether it's strangers, friends, or family, just support.
She's the epitome of the word grind, of what the word grind means. Salute to you, Queen. Empress. Shout out to you. Guess what? You're about to have more people pull up for you. Yes. No shout outs to any other juice bars, but that's personally my favorite juice bar. And that's not just because I know her personally, but in terms of the quality, in terms of the vibe that I get. Once again, I walk through the doors and you smell the fresh fruit and vegetables, but there's an experience where she has books that are kind of lined on the side. So it's like an educational kind of vibe. You know me, I love my library, my Barnes and Noble. So I get my laptop,
right,
I get me a juice.
It's like it's an upscale Barnes and Noble. You know?
It's but you can get some healthy stuff. I just got some sea moss from them about 2 weeks ago when I was here in New York last. And I took the sea moss and I brought it home and I made smoothies for a week. And it kind of just so good product. Freckles juices. Okay, on the bottom, please specify. Okay.
Okay, let me send
it
to her.
We're gonna try it again. It should pop up as a notification. I think it says join the live.
Yeah.
Or something. It should pop up. I'm not sure if it's on the top or the bottom, but it says join the live. You can go or you can send us a request. What's up? Shout out to my aunt that's in the building. It's Sam. How are you doing? As we celebrate Women's History Month, and shout out to all the women around. I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out to the women who are in my family.
So Karina, on the bottom, it should be a red dot. Right on the bottom. Where does the invite pop up? Okay, I just
I believe it's the bottom right. When you click on it, then it says says Kayla wants to invite you in, and I believe you approve. We're gonna keep on trying till we get it right.
Yeah. The messages from God be the foundational blueprints to your success. All praise to the Most High. Absolutely, man. Listen, the messages, the signs, the revelations, the scriptures. When you know it's from Him, you know. Absolutely.
Say that.
Okay, Karina. Where does the invite pop up? It's right on the bottom. It should. I know. Normally, when you send me the invite, Josh, it pops up in the bottom on a red dot. So.
Right.
If you see, it says comment. From my end, it's saying it's unable to join. Let's see.
So right by the bar, the way it says add comment, there's some other icons, and usually it says either you have to maybe click on it or a notification will come up that says want you to join. But try and click on one of the icons in the bottom near the question mark, near the add a comment, all the way at the bottom to the right. It should be there around. We're gonna get this right.
It's an icon of a person, like an individual with an arrow.
Okay.
And that.
We're gonna get it right now. But we have some amazing women share their story. Yep. We have another one coming up.
That was so powerful. I love it. And you know what? And God is not done with them. That's always like the motivation and the motivation for me. Like she said, you are humble, and I'm always grateful for everything I've accomplished, but I always keep in the back of my head, He's not even done with me yet. I posted the other day, like I haven't even met my best me yet. And that's always
Say that. I love that. Let me make sure.
See. All right, Karina. One more.
You gonna get Karina on? Come on, Karina. We're waiting for you, girl.
Try sending and maybe, Josh.
So now, being that you're the person who started, I can't invite anyone. Let me see. Okay. Send Kayla. I can send you a question, and I can share. So on your side, we're just going to keep on sending. On your side, also at the bottom right-hand corner, if you click on something, you can also ask to join, or as it's going alongside the comments, and when you see us, it says ask to join. You can do that from your end as well, or we can select you to join in. Karina, you want to share your story?
And the bottom, try requesting to join, and then I could get asked a notification and let you in, or to request to join. Yeah, that's what we did. Right on the bottom, next to add a comment, it should be the person icon with an arrow. Just click on that, and then you'll be able to request to join live, Karina. Yeah, I keep saying she's unable to join.
We're going to get this right. Tell her to request to join. Absolutely, it's saying. All right, we're going to just keep on going.
Listen, that snowstorm today.
Oh, speaking of, right, and then my lights go out. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute, did your car go off?
Yo, how
I'm
crazy.
Like, I didn't get no snow.
Yo,
what are you
doing? As soon as you said the word snowstorm, my lights just, I clicked by my feet. So as of right now, all right, so this whole month, we decided to just shout out to all women and just celebrate Women's History, HERstory Month. We're going to, this week, we wanted to highlight some people personally in our lives who we needed to get recognized, and we're also going to do next week. It's not giving me the option so far, Okay.
I just sent it to her.
Try it. All right, so we're gonna just keep on going. Once again,
Karina, and you should be able. In the bottom, it says unable to join. That's weird. In the bottom, it's a red dot. Once I send you the invite and you select that, you accept it, you should be able to join. Let's see. Let's try it again.
Okay.
She's also another powerful woman, and I really would love for her to share her story tonight.
Absolutely. And another option, Karina, you can come out of the live and then come back in to join the live. So come out to see her page and then click the circle that says live. And then there you should see something that says ask to join. As soon as you join in, it usually says ask to join is one of the first things. So you can try and come out, come back in, and we can try it all over again.
Yeah, so hit the exit up top at the right hand.
No red dot on my side. The video camera with plus symbol. You may have to update Instagram. We ain't got time for that, saying. No. But yeah, if she comes out and she comes back in, it says ask to join. So real quick, while she gets that started, tell us a little bit about Karina and how do you guys make?
So I actually, well, that's another form of alignment by God. I actually met Karina from one of my old marketing professors. So this was back in 2015. I was in college, and my marketing professor said, "Oh, I'm attending an event. I'm going to be a vendor at this International Women's Day event," and she invited the whole class. She said, "You guys stop by. There'll be food. There'll be music. There'll be different performances. There'll be tons of vendors, and that whole day we're just going to be celebrating women." So knowing me, I was like, "Wait, what? We're celebrating women? There's going to be music, food. What? Oh, I'm in there." So I stopped by the event with my mom. My mom is my number one supporter. My mom and my sister, they go with me to everything. So my mom and I got there, and we met. My professor introduced me to Karina, and she said, she's the founder, and she's the one who manages and creates this whole event every single year to celebrate women. And it was just so beautiful because it was women of all ages, all different backgrounds. There was tons of food from all different cultures. There were so many performances. There was tons of vendors. And for the most part, every vendor was a woman. So it was also so inspiring to see women selling books. My professor was selling her scarves. So not only is she a professor, marketing professor, she also has her own line of scarves. There was just another woman selling utensils and the health and fitness. It was just candles. It was just so inspiring to see. And that's how I was introduced to Karina. And it's so funny because I think that was the last year my professor was a vendor at her event. So she kind of connected us, served her purpose, and then, she went on to I'm not sure if she's still local, but she's an amazing woman as well. But I was able to meet Karina, and she has this amazing nonprofit organization. And we just had the event last weekend, not this past weekend, last weekend. And mind you, it was a bit of a snowstorm, and the whole city came out.
Oh, we got to hear your story. We got to try and connect her one more time with your side, girl. Try and connect her one more time. See if she can, once again, there should be an option that says ask to join the live. You can do it on your end, and Kayla on her end, she's going to send your request.
Request again, Karina.
Okay, we're going to try and get it. Either way, we're going to get you to share your story. We're going to get it. But as we said earlier, we're also going to do this next week on the 21st. And we just wanted to dedicate this whole month to bigging up women who has a story that needs to be echoed. And from my lovely co-host here to Miss Felicia Forbes to Belkis to Karina, there are women who are doing some really incredible work. And I do want to let you know publicly to all women, you have an ally. There are men who are just 100% supporting you. Yeah, in general, and that's what we need. Some unapologetic support, not saying include us into it, not saying you're great, or you're great because of, we're just saying you're awesome and you're great and allow y'all to shine. And we need to keep that energy.
That's dope. And we
keep that energy.
We appreciate that. The celebration is long. So thank you.
Shout out.
And thank you for being willing to celebrate us, When I was like, and I brought it up to you, you're like, yeah, you were so happy. You're super excited. I'm like, okay.
That makes sense. All right. So now, again, being all the way transparent, what I do notice in research for this show, a lot of things just came up. us men leveling up to a way to where we're not intimidated on any level, and we do that by literally being so sure about what we bring, so sure about our own competence, to where if a woman shows up in extreme, you may call it strong, assertive, whatever kind of way, it takes nothing away from us. But that security comes from us knowing what we have. And if we're not sure about what we have or what we bring to the table, it's only natural to feel insecure. And that's in the room with another man or woman. If someone does something a little better than you and you're not secure in what you do, you're going to come at it with some malice or some jealousy. Mm-hmm. And we see that existing in terms of relationships. My woman is doing something I can't do, or she's stepping into rooms and realms that I could never see myself into. So because I can't see myself into, I can't applaud her. So I think the remedy for that is men just being so certain of what you bring, work on your own value, and understand that she's just adding to what you already have.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's going to be another topic we're going to touch on. And I'm so excited for that episode.
Yo,
I have
we're going to go in.
That. I'm going to go
all
the way.
Just real quick, just kind of letting the cat out the bag really quick. The conversation is centered around, I don't know if I should tell them.
No! No, okay, we'll say this. The 3 L's. Just leave it at that.
Can't do that. Come on. Can't do that. Yeah, I'm just a background story. Just in terms of men supporting women from a real angle, not from a lustful angle, or just I like angle, but from a love angle. And what does that actually mean? Sometimes we're lusting women, but not really in love, or vice versa. We like. So it's like love and lust.
I just knocked out my whole tissue box. So I'm like, sorry. You just said it right there.
I'm sorry. I exposed it. But that's something that we could definitely go in on. We invite everyone to join that conversation. And real quick, I'm gonna say for the podcast, but I think it's beautiful when all those 3 are combined.
Absolutely.
When you like someone genuinely, I love someone, and also the lust is good too. That's like, hey, yeah. Who? But it shouldn't be in the absence. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I can't wait to touch on that, especially to speaking from and love someone so deeply, but not like them. Like the point that you're like, oh my God, I'm so in love with you, but I no longer like you. And for me, that's my cue to go. Like when you don't like your person, it's like, oof.
Just chill, girl. We going into it. Hold on.
I know.
Let's hold on.
My bad.
So real quick.
You started it.
I did. So what we're going to do, we're going to get Karina correct, and then we're going to bring her on next week's show. Hopefully she's available next Tuesday, and we're going to do a dry run with her so she can share her story and give big ups to her nonprofit organization.
Karina,
let's go.
I think Karina has to upgrade it, but yeah, we'll definitely touch bases with her this week, and we'll have her on next Tuesday to share her amazing story and organization. Oh, thank you. Shout out to the host. Yeah, hosting. Oh, thank you. We appreciate you so much.
Yo, so Zen, can I say this right now? Can we lock you in for that show? I wonder if I have something on my computer blocking the invite. We're going to get you right, Miss Karina, and we're going to bring you back on next Tuesday, and you're going to be included in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Zen, I would love to. We was talking about on that conversation, we're going to have me, Kayla, then we're going to have a male and a female as well. And I would love for you to be the female representative, Zen.
Yes.
But can we lock you in for that?
The combo definitely needs to be addressed. We had the comments popping. We appreciate you so much.
Shout out to everyone who came through. Shout out to Karina.
Maybe something on your computer, because I join in from my phone. Josh, I think you do your phone or your iPad, right? So it might be something on the computer blocking it. But no worries. We'll definitely figure it out for next week, and we'll have you on.
Once again, shout out to Belkis. Shout out to Miss Felicia Forbes. Shout out to Karina. Even though we didn't get her story, we're going to get hers next week.
Absolutely.
And shout out to all the women who are out there doing their thing. And shout out to the most, I was going to make it physical, but I was going to say the most.
About that.
Right, but we can't neglect the physicality as well. If a woman's beautiful, we should say it. So I was going to say the most beautiful, intelligent, and just informative co-host that I could ask for, Miss Kayla Dela.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you. So what are you thankful for?
Okay. I'm grateful for the balance and learning about the balance. and not being in fear of the feminine energy. And let that be a motivation to me, because when you see a woman doing some great things, that's just a way of saying you do need to balance it. Yes, there is a balance for that, and not be afraid of it, but embrace it and learn from it at times. So I'm grateful for the balance. What are you grateful for in this time?
I am grateful for being a powerful woman of God who does not let her fears, insecurities, doubts, or other people get in the way. It's always me and God, and I accomplish anything I set my mind to.
That's dope. This has been another dope episode of We Need Each Other podcast. Shout out to you and yours. Any last words?
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate you all so much. Until next week. So,
Later.
bye.